Al Jazeera Podcasts.
I'm Marthe Vanderwolf, and this is The Take. As Israel's war on Gaza continues, we're coming to you on Sundays with a weekly roundup. This week, 221 days into a ceasefire, Israel has killed at least 850 Palestinians in Gaza. Israel continues to strike Gaza. Israeli attacks across Lebanon despite ceasefire. Iran reviewing US proposal to end the war. Today's Sunday, May 10. Israel has killed at least 72,736 Palestinians in Gaza since October 7, 2023. Israel continues to strike Gaza despite the October ceasefire. An Israeli strike on Wednesday targeted a group of civilians in Gaza City, killing 4 people, including 1 child. On Thursday, multiple people were rushed to hospital after a series of attacks in Khan Younis. Israeli warplanes targeted a refugee camp in Gaza City on Saturday, injuring 4 people. Al Jazeera's Hind has more from Gaza City.
The drones are buzzing very high, and Palestinians have this state of fear that the war may resume. The violence has been increasing in the past couple of days. Every single day there has been people being killed, people being injured, and there is also an advancement of the yellow line. Despite the ceasefire, Palestinians are being killed every single day, and those who are injured are also dying after the wounds they sustained. Now, everything Palestinians have been witnessing during their displacement, during the wave of restrictions and blockade is affecting Palestinian children and Palestinian women. Now, according to Doctors Without Borders, they say that there is a severe malnutrition crisis, and this malnutrition crisis is driven by the restriction on food and aid during periods of siege and conflict.
Israel carried out attacks across Lebanon despite a 3-week-old US-brokered ceasefire. The Israeli army also issued new forced displacement orders in parts of southern Lebanon. Al Jazeera's Rory Challands reports from Beirut.
Very intense day of Israeli strikes on Saturday, the deadliest incidents being in the town of Saksakia, which is down on the coast between Tyre and Sidon. And the building that was attacked there was hosting or sheltering displaced families from other parts of southern Lebanon. We understand that at least 7 people were killed in that strike and 15 injured. The pattern over the last few days of Israeli activity has basically been forced evacuations followed by airstrikes. But a notable number of what we've seen in the last few days, particularly yesterday, of what looked like targeted strikes on individuals on motorbikes and in cars. And one of those incidents took place on Saturday where a Syrian man and his 12-year-old daughter, who were riding on a motorbike, they were targeted by a drone which fired rockets at them, wounded them, then came back and killed the father before coming back a 3rd time to target the daughter, who later died of her injuries. And we've heard of several more of those, 2 to 3 more at least yesterday and on Saturday, and at least 1 more today.
Lebanon is facing economic hardship as the conflict between Hezbollah and Israel enters its 3rd month. 80% of people in Lebanon were already living in poverty before the escalation of the conflict. Al Jazeera's Zeina reports from Beirut.
It was a problem before the latest confrontation. Lebanon's economy collapsed in 2019.
And then there's the impact of the US-Iran conflict on supply chains and global energy prices. Lebanon, a country which imports almost everything, is feeling it.
A surge in fuel prices is increasing transportation costs, electricity bills. Almost everything is more expensive. Buying food was already hard for many. Now the World Food Programme says the situation has deteriorated, with food unaffordable for roughly 1 in 4 people.
It's 72 days since Israel and the US started their war on Iran. The ceasefire still holds despite several skirmishes over the past week. Iran is reviewing a US proposal to end the war. Al Jazeera's Tohid Asadi reports that Iranians are struggling to rebuild their lives.
Across the country, thousands were killed and tens of thousands injured, with widespread damage to civilian housing and infrastructure. But people have also come together to lend a hand to families that have been impacted. Others are helping with repairs, some coming from hundreds of kilometers away, replacing shattered windows and carrying out other reconstruction work free of charge. But rebuilding requires more than volunteer labor. It also requires money. The government and municipalities have pledged support for affected families. But in an economy strained by inflation, many survivors worry about how they will rebuild their lives.
The abuse of Palestinian detainees in Israeli torture camps are a living hell, according to rights group Euromed Human Rights Monitor. Al Jazeera's Tareq Abu Azzoum spoke to one former detainee struggling after abuse in an Israeli prison.
Mohammed al-Bakri says the pain begins every night when the memories return. Arrested during Israeli military operations in Gaza in 2024, the Palestinian detainee was transferred through several Israeli detention centers before ending up in a prison in East Jerusalem. For months, he says he remained blindfolded and handcuffed alongside other detainees, cut off from the world outside. Then came the night before Eid al-Fitr. Already weakened by diabetes, Mohammed says Israeli soldiers stripped him naked, unleashed trained dogs on him, and later sexually assaulted him with a plastic penetrating object. After his release, he returned to Gaza only to discover that his wife had been killed. A loss, he says, broke what remained of him. For many former detainees in Gaza, prison did not end at the cell door. The trauma still follows them home.
And that's the take for Sunday, May 10. Please join us again tomorrow. This episode was produced by me, Marthe van der Wolf. Our sound designer is Alex Roldan, and Alexandra Locke is the Take's executive producer.